You wake up, not in your bed, not in your city. You're naked, alone, on an African savannah 50,000 years ago. No shelter, no fire, no tools. Just you, your modern human brain, and a world that desperately wants to kill you. Every day, millions of us romanticize the simple life of our prehistoric ancestors. We imagine ourselves as rugged hunter-gatherers, living off the land with nothing but our wits. But the reality of Paleolithic life? Far more brutal than any reality TV show. Modern archaeology reveals our Stone Age ancestors faced challenges that would crush most of us within hours. They were susceptible to disease, injury, and predators. Recent discoveries show just how sophisticated these early humans had to be just to stay alive. The question isn't whether you're tough enough. The question is whether your modern brain and body could adapt fast enough before the Paleolithic world claimed another victim. Your first challenge wouldn't be finding food or making fire, it would be staying alive long enough to worry about those luxuries. Research on evolutionary predators shows that spotted hyenas regularly prey on baboons and, in some regions, people. The extinct short-faced hyena, Pachycrocuta, was the size of a lion, with a mouth capable of fully enveloping a hominid's head. Every shadow, every rustling bush, every snap of a twig could mean death. Our anxiety responses evolved specifically because our predecessors stood a good chance of being eaten by bigger, badder species. Your modern body would actually work against you. Anthropologist Clint Janelis explains that most hunter-gatherers today grow up tracking from birth, keen observers of animal behavior that most urbanized people would completely miss. While you're squinting at the horizon, trying to figure out if that shape is a rock or a lion, a Paleolithic human would have already identified the threat, calculated escape routes, and started moving toward safety. Your life would depend on learning faster than you've ever learned before. Finding shelter becomes your next desperate priority. Prehistoric hunter-gatherers used natural shelters like overhanging cliffs and caves. But here's where modern humans face a cruel irony. Without thousands of years of inherited knowledge, you'd be trying to reinvent architecture while hypothermia crept through your bones. The 5,000-year-old remains of Otzi the Iceman show sophisticated clothing was possible, made from goat and sheep hide. But creating even basic shelter requires tools you don't have, materials you can't identify, and techniques that took our ancestors thousands of years to perfect. Every night, without adequate protection, brings you closer to becoming another casualty of the Paleolithic world. Fire wasn't just comfort for Paleolithic humans, it was the difference between life and death. It enabled them to stay warm, cook their food, and scare wild animals. But making fire from scratch requires more than rubbing two sticks together. Anthropologist Brian Fagan notes that Ice Age humans devised sophisticated fire-making techniques. Without modern tools, you'd need to master friction-based methods that require specific wood types, proper tinder, and technique perfected through countless failures. Modern experiments show that even experienced primitive skills instructors often struggle for hours to create fire under ideal conditions. Imagine attempting this while hungry, cold, and listening to hyenas calling in the distance. Hollywood shows cavemen casually throwing spears at mammoths. But real Paleolithic hunting required sophisticated knowledge that modern humans simply don't possess. As Janelis explains, the biggest lost skill for survival is not any one technique, but the loss of culturally and generationally developed subsistence patterns specific to an environment. Fossil records from eastern France show Ice Age hunters built fires every fall and spring to corral migrating herds of wild horses and reindeer. This coordinated hunting continued for tens of thousands of years, but hunting was just half the challenge. Identifying edible plants required generational knowledge passed down through families. The consequences of getting this wrong were deadly. The seeds of the jiqui plant look tasty, but they'll kill you. One wrong choice, and your prehistoric adventure ends in poisoning. While you're focused on lions and leopards, microscopic predators pose an equally deadly threat. Recent genetic analysis suggests many human-specific infectious diseases may have originated in the Paleolithic period. DNA evidence from ancient humans reveals that even 32,000 years ago, pathogens were present. Without modern medicine or even basic antiseptics, a simple cut could become a life-threatening infection. Even drinking water presented mortal danger. Paleolithic humans had to identify safe water sources while avoiding those contaminated with deadly parasites and bacteria. Every sip was a calculated risk. Perhaps your only hope lies in the same strategy that allowed our ancestors to thrive: cooperation. Dig sites show that during the Paleolithic age, hominins grouped together in small societies because survival was difficult and cooperation vital. These groups developed sophisticated structures where members recognized differences in ability and used them strategically. Individual toughness wasn't enough. Success required teamwork, shared knowledge, and collective problem-solving. Ice Age humans collected and transmitted vast amounts of information through art, music, and storytelling. The famous cave paintings at Lascaux and Chauvet weren't just decoration. They were instruction manuals. Your modern human brain offers some advantages. The basic structure of the human brain has remained essentially unaltered for tens of thousands of years. You possess the same intellectual capacity that allowed our ancestors to thrive. But your advantages pale next to your weaknesses. Modern life has eliminated the observational skills, environmental awareness, and physical conditioning that kept our ancestors alive. As Yanalis explains, urbanized modern humans would not only be fighting their lack of knowledge of the new ecosystem, but also their lack of skill, observational powers, and awareness, which would likely lead them to grossly misplaced priorities and efforts. You've traded individual capabilities for technological dependence. Your ancestors could navigate hundreds of miles without GPS. You can order food with an app. The brutal truth is that most modern humans would not last more than a few days in the Paleolithic world, according to experts. For urbanized humans trapped in a primitive situation, the only solution would be strong leadership who understands group dynamics. Your best chance would be finding and joining an existing band of hunter-gatherers, willing to adopt a clueless newcomer. Even then, you'd need rapid learning, constant vigilance, and extraordinary luck. The margin for error in the Paleolithic world was razor thin. But perhaps that's what makes our ancestors' achievements so remarkable. They didn't just endure. They innovated, adapted, and ultimately conquered every environment on Earth. Our human ancestors' big, creative brains helped them devise tools and strategies to survive harsh climates. The next time you complain about your morning commute or struggle to open a pickle jar, remember this: you are the descendant of the most successful champions in Earth's history. Your ancestors faced down saber-toothed cats, survived ice ages, and built the foundation of human civilization using nothing but stone tools and raw determination. Could you make it as a caveman? Probably not. But that's not a failure. It's a testament to how far we've come. We've traded individual capabilities for collective knowledge, personal toughness for technological power, and primitive existence for modern comfort. Our Paleolithic ancestors would be amazed by our world, just as we should be amazed by theirs. They endured so we could thrive, and in understanding their struggles, we gain a deeper appreciation for both our remarkable heritage and our extraordinary present. The real question isn't whether you could make it in their world. It's how you'll honor the incredible legacy they left behind.